geez, we spent 8 minutes before we got to the story, and then another 8 minutes after that.
It was
Mostly
fun and
just
interesting.
Yeah. What did
Not
we
to do
talk
with
about?
the story all that much.
We just talked. It feels like words just came out. That sort of made sense.
Work from home.
Ranting
We were talking
really
about
maybe is a better description.
Yeah.
Eventually, we get to an article which is all about how it's your fault that working from home isn't working out, and we all violently disagree in different ways. John has some good suggestions. Mike, not so much, but
not so much, no.
you know. And then we end with our traditional for the week begging session where we ask you please subscribe to help us out because we want to game the algorithm.
Yes. Not to help us out.
Special because I did it.
To game the system.
Yeah. Anyway, check it out. Tell us the title of the article.
America, we have a problem. People aren't feeling engaged with their work. This is an NPR article, NPR article by Andrea Hsu.
First question. Do you think that other countries write these kind of headlines? Do you think I cannot imagine in my head a headline that's like, Sweden, we have a problem. People are not feeling engaged with their work.
I'll tell you that the answer is yes, they do.
Really?
They do.
Okay.
This is just tabloiding. This is like, it is, I feel like it's sensationalism at its finest. They're pulling you in. This is a demographic as wide as America. This covers the workforce, high and low. And so before we delve deep here, I just want to point out that we're coming out of a 3-year pandemic in the digital age, where you now have some people who are stapled in to the work from home life.
Rightly so, I think.
They've spent the better part of 3 years adjusting and getting used to working from home. And then you get fucking Morgan Stanley, who says, hey, you don't got a choice. You're coming back to the office whether you like it or not.
Damn it,
That's that. Discussion closed. And it's like...
I, not just 3 years of doing it, but 3 years of seeing it work. Seeing it like...
It works.
Not be a problem.
It works. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Work from home, not only does it work, but it's changed everything. It's working for the better of everyone. You don't have to have an office anymore. That means you don't have to have insurance anymore. You don't have to pay your lease. You don't have to pay your electricity bill.
Of the workforce. This tiny sliver of the workforce which just want their control back. Even though it doesn't benefit anybody except themselves.
It really doesn't.
Anyway,
no, but it doesn't benefit them.
To be fair, work from home affects probably a relatively small portion of the workforce also. A huge number of workers can't do their, like service employees, laborers, they can't work from home. So, but I mean, just a little perspective.
Well,
I agree.
I don't think it is
I 100% agree.
And
wait. This carries on to my point. The people who have been working away in the what was the industries called? There was like the high
critical
like the
industries or
whatever they called it. They had a name for it.
Key workers.
Yeah. These poor people had to watch as their friends and family and relatives got to transition to work from home and basically just brag about it, even if it's an unintentional brag, saying like oh, we just did for 5 minutes. I woke up at 9 a.m. today. Like I had a slow start because I was able to. That's the type of boss I have. They're cool with that. I was able to sleep in today. Wife or husband or partner took the kids to school and I just got to sleep in an extra 2 hours. And they're like, I was in the kitchen at 6 prepping. So, yeah, I wouldn't be engaged either. And I wouldn't be engaged if my boss is like, we're going to have to call everyone in. You're back at the office. Enjoy an hour each way of rush hour.
Yeah.
No.
I did that. Sorry, Mike.
I was just going to say, I mentioned that because we were actually having a conversation before the show started about how news media politics, tries to always set things up as us versus them. And this is one of the opportunities they're taking. Like the work from home and 4-day work week are only conversations that affect white collar workers. What about everybody else who wants more hours? And I said, they don't want more hours. They want more money. They have to work more hours to get more money. Nobody wants to work more hours. I mean, some people do. God bless, have at it. But how about paying everybody for their work? Not just white collar workers, not just wealthy people. Everyone gets paid what they're worth. How about that?
Yeah. It's and now you're going to be labeled a socialist, and the problem is
I'll take it. Fine.
Wait
till I talk about universal basic income.
It's not about I love UBI. It's not about minimum wage. I just read this. I found it very interesting. It's not about minimum wage. It's about living, the cost of living. It's about the multiplication of housing versus what you're making. It's not that we should be making $15 an hour or $20 an hour at minimum. It's that we should be making the percentage that it costs versus everything else. Monthly groceries, utilities, housing, all of these things is what we should be reflecting your monthly wages or hourly wages against. That's what the comparison should be. Not universally everyone makes $15 an hour. Okay, they make $15 an hour, but they have to live in New York. There's just no other option. They can't afford moving. So they live on $15 an hour in New York. That's not going to work. It's not going to fly. Saying, Peter?
Sounds a bit like communism to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and we're so, humanity is so scared of sounding socialist or communist.
Yeah,
because of the Western. And I'm not saying that I support communism. I'm not saying I support socialism. I am saying that I support humans and what they deserve. Well, see,
the problem with communism is that it was it's a sort of a nice idea, but it never didn't work in practice. It's been proven multiple times it doesn't work because people are assholes. Yeah, the people in power always fuck it up. But you're right. It's just a bit naive. That's all. And it's sad that this is why we can't have nice things, sort of thing. Yeah. My one hope for the world is that we just have so much stuff that we can't help. This is my one hope for like unbridled capitalism or unbridled capitalists.
Sure.
Unchecked capitalism is terrible and is the cause of a lot of problems in the world. And I kind of hope that they're just going to get bored one day. They're just going to have so much stuff and always get what they want all the time and have it instantly that it'll be like, oh, God, all right.
But even they can't take it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the capitalist tech utopia. I think Facebook has played with this idea of like creating a Facebook city where everyone works at Facebook. And everything is like 100% efficient and everything is clean and safe and there's no crime and it's all run by Facebook, right? And you get your little sleeping quarter and everyone's like living good. And it's like it's like an inch away from dystopia. But in theory, something like this could occur that benefits everyone.
So to go back to the cost of living point, I'm going to keep bringing up articles that I didn't load for the show, but I shared a Dave Ramsey article where he said that Gen Z is moving back in with their parents is a disaster and a failure of parenting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, guess what, douchebag? When you graduated from the University of Tennessee 30 years ago, it was affordable. You could pay for it. You could get a job that allowed you to buy a house afterwards. None of those things are available to Gen Z today, and it's not because of bad parenting. It's because assholes like you ruined the economy for the rest of us, and it only serves the rich.
Yeah.
Do we want to look at this actual article at all?
Yeah, go on then. Let's talk about it.
Pull it up. Yeah.
So the two
What's
things
the intro for this episode going to be like? We waffled for about 10 minutes, and then I just talk about the article for a sec.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got, Mike?
So the two things that stood out to me, and I'm actually interested to hear what your take on this one is, John, and then obviously I will share mine.
Don't worry about my opinion.
No, Peter. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
You're just going to get caught in the middle of the fighting again. Yeah, I think you're gonna agree with me, Peter. That's my prediction.
ChatGPT, mom and dad are fighting again.
So,
all right.
The article starts with a story from Tom Vicina, and she says she enjoyed lunches out with colleagues and opportunities to learn just by listening and watching others. She grew professionally, aspiring to leadership roles. How do you hear that, John? Do you think that's a benefit of working in an office?
If you are a I'm just kidding. If you're an extrovert, and you feed off human interaction, go back to the office. Go find a job that is in an office.
No. Okay? Here's what you should do. Work fewer hours and go out more. That's
sure. Right. 100%. Yeah, well said, Peter. If you can afford it, work less, socialize more. Because at work has social interactions. My God, Peter, good point. Work has social interactions. Is my social interactions the point of work?
Yeah. So no. You've walked right into my trap.
Let's hear it.
So to me, the key part of that sentence is the opportunity to learn by listening and watching others. There are studies or anecdotes. I read this someplace about how it's important, like in some careers, some jobs, for people to get together at the end of the day in a social situation and share stories about what they did that day. And stuff like, oh man, you wouldn't believe, how many times I forgot to save the running config to startup config before I rebooted this router, man. Like the old guys telling the young guys that story.
You are making me want to go back to the office right now, Mike. I mean,
no, I'm not saying go back to the office, but I'm saying that's a benefit of working physically with other people.
Sure. Yeah, that's one benefit that can be.
Can you get that online? You can, but you have to be much more intentional about it.
That's the big difference, though.
No, leadership has to be intentional about it. You can create these spaces as a leader, as a proactive leader. You can create these spaces with your team or with your company to allow something like this to occur. And it's as simple as once or twice a week at 4 p.m., you have a call, and the call is intentionally open-ended with the agenda of talking about.
You want your employer to force you onto an after-hours call on a Friday evening, John?
Wait, is 4 after hours? Did I say that? Did I say
maybe
7?
For me? I don't know. On a Friday, it certainly is. Maybe not on a Tuesday.
You're right. You're right that leadership has a whole lot to do with making working from home have the same opportunities as working in an office. But I think the key difference for me is that in an office it happens naturally, and leadership don't have to do anything. It just is there. But there has to be a conscious decision. Like you have to be more proactive about creating those opportunities somehow. And there's lots of different methods to do it, But I think your 5 o'clock on Friday thing is a terrible idea, by the way. But
definitely not what I said, you assholes. I said that it is open-ended. It can even be optional. And I'll tell you what.
He said he wants employers to create more rules.
Well, your guys' hold on. Yeah. Well, your guys' experiences might be that you can get information from coworkers in an office. My experience was that I was the information giver. I was not able to sit with the graybeards and get information from them because they were in a different city or in a different country even.
I was
while I was stuck in a fucking office with people who had no clue what they were talking about, I was not gathering any information from them, right? Yeah. So it's very in a box. This example that she gives is very in a box. And
maybe. I think it's probably more common than most people are aware of because it happens organically most of the time.
I guess.
I think so. But you're right. It can happen in a working from home environment. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Mike.
Just the other item from the story is an interesting note that none of us are going to be surprised by, is that while engagement dipped across a wide swathe of workers, the biggest declines were among what Gallup calls remote-ready on-site workers, those who could do their jobs from home but are stuck working from the office.
Am I surprised?
And there's no reason for that.
You blame them, and you
like
90%,
I'd be
95% of people who, God damn.
I know someone who this happens to, and it is infuriating. Like this is the worst possible scenario, is a hybrid work environment where some people do work from home and everybody else is stuck going to an office.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like that sucks. That sucks.
That's also a complete lack of trust.
Can I complain about something just for a second? Companies which require you to go into an office a certain number of days a week, I think that's bullshit. Yeah. Like, if you can work from home, why force you to go into the office at all? Peter, it really frustrates me.
Don't you know how much that office costs them to maintain?
Yeah,
or are they supposed to just let it sit empty?
Yeah, no, it's actually crazy to me that is a rule that we're talking about. Some of the biggest companies on earth, like Google, implemented. Like, hey, we have this $hundreds billion worth campus, and it's just empty. You guys, can you not use it? Like, we're gonna implement a 3-day
and then they spin
rule.
it as a benefit. Like, you can work from home 3 days a week, and then we're gonna fucking ruin it.
No problem.
So you can't go into a beach in Greece and work there for the whole time. You know, you're just gonna spoil it for everybody.
Yeah,
forcing you to come in. So you're unhappy a couple of days a week. That's all we want. We just want you to be unhappy a shorter amount of time than you're ordinary.
I feel a little torn about that. So my first thought was, like, you could make it a benefit. I often, maybe that's exaggerating, but like, feel like if I had a nice WeWork space to go to that was like stocked kitchen, nice working space, other people, like I could see going to work someplace like that to get out of my home office where I'm more isolated.
If it was a completely, purely voluntary thing that you decided to do, cool.
Yeah, so like a nice Google campus that's got all the amenities, like that could be cool. But then I thought, like, I don't know, if they said, hey, we want you to come in 1 or 2 days a week for the meeting days, for collaboration sessions, I guess I could see that making sense. Is it strictly necessary? Probably not, but as a business, I could see making that choice and thinking it's reasonable.
Oh, well, fuck you then too, Mike, I suppose.
I think it should be...
We've already established that I will not hire either of you for my company.
It should be entirely
Peter, but definitely not John.
Mike.
I think it should be entirely up to the employee, if it's allowed, right? Like, if work allows you to work from home, it should be entirely up to the employee. Anyway, can wrap it up.
So should we spare them the plea?
Oh no, we've got to do the plea, but let's make it a short one. We've done it a couple of days in a row.
I'll do it short. Yeah, I'm super fast. All right, hold on.
John's got someplace to be. Is this you getting ready? What are you?
Hey guys, listen, we've been kind of down lately, and to be honest, we need your help. We really need your help. We need your help to push this channel to the next level. I mean, likes, comments, subscriptions. Oh, and you can join our Discord too if you want. It's really cool, and we have a lot of fun there. But mostly, help us grow this channel, because we've been at it, and like, people tell us all the time, like, this is super good. You guys are really great, and we want to keep being great and grow, obviously. So help us, comment, like, subscribe, like, really, like, yes, this is us. Like, we're asking you, help us, please.
Thanks. This has been a message from John, and it was sponsored by Not So Critical Updates.
Yeah. And I always want to make the point explicitly. What we're asking you to do is help us game the algorithm. Don't do it just because you like the show. Algorithm. Do it because we intentionally want to drive the show up in the recommended results. And that happens if you like, if you subscribe, and if you leave a comment. So don't just leave a comment on this video, leave comments on other videos. Go back and the last five videos of ours that you watched and like all of those. Like, help us prove that we can defeat the YouTube algorithm. That's what we're really asking you for.
Yeah.
And we can't do it without you.
No. You're our only hope.
we salute you.